Welcome to another episode of Silence is Golden. I'm Simon Kelly.
And I'm Ginny Mac.
And today we're going to be talking about how you can add value to your WordPress clients. We'll also be taking a look at the new release of WordPress, which includes some privacy features and some much discussed GDPR related things. We'll be talking about how to use Google Trends to come up with new blog topics. And we'll also be talking about some content marketing tools and plugins. Stay with us. Okay, Jen, how you going?
Good. I'm back in the chair.
Yeah, good to have you back. Good to see you here. We've also got Troy chiming in from Manila. How you going there, Troy?
Hey, Groovers. How you doing?
Good, man. What time is it over there?
It is 8:01 a.m. 8 o'clock a.m.
Nice.
8 o'clock a.m. Tuesday morning. We're a couple of hours behind.
Yep.
Good to see we pushed Silence is Golden live right on 10 o'clock. Awesome work.
Yeah, nice.
So Troy is over in the Philippines for the next week with his business partner visiting our Philippine team. So you haven't met them yet, Troy. Today's the day where you go and chat to them. They've been working for us for a few years now, so they thought it was a good time to head over and say g'day. It's
very exciting. In fact, Michelle has been working with Brian for 10 years and they have never met. So Michelle actually thinks Brian is the Loch Ness Monster. Some kind of invisible, star man on the other side of the planet. So it's going to be exciting to see the guys meet in real life for the first time. I've met Jay, one of our developers, but I haven't met Michelle or Pat or George. So they're coming to meet us in the hotel lobby here in about an hour's time. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Say g'day for me.
Very cool. Will do.
Cool. Let's take a look at some things that happened this week, shall we, Jen?
Sounds good.
Stuff that happened.
So there were a couple of news articles that came across my desk. One of them that I thought was quite nice was the headline really got me. It said, 6 pointless design achievements you should totally go for. And I thought, oh, this is going to be ridiculous. But I thought it was really good. Some of the things were just different things you can do when you're building websites. One of them is build a site full of Easter eggs. Why not?
This gave me a good laugh. My favourite one in there was about when you have the client's slow with giving you the content, write some content that's just a bit silly and see if they'll actually pass it and get it published. Like if you get it published and it goes through, that's a tick as well.
Just a live site with all lorem ipsum all over it.
No, not even lorem ipsum, just write some stuff that you think is just pretty silly, put it in there, see if they pass it.
There's Samuel L. Jackson ipsum that you can use to generate text. Yeah, it's a little bit R-rated, but it's good. See if you can get that one approved. And another one was convince a client their logo doesn't actually need to be bigger. I thought that was a good one.
It's good for a laugh, this article.
Not easy to do, not easy to do. Also in the news from Elegant Themes was how to use Google Trends to help you come up with blog topic ideas. Have you
I haven't.
done this before?
I was going to ask what your take on this is.
Yeah,
I want to know if I should get onto this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like one of the most basic keyword research strategies that I use is SEMrush plus Google Trends and use those to come up with different keyword ideas. So you can see a particular keyword over time, how it's trending. For instance, and I won't show you what the graphs look like, but Elementor versus Beaver Builder. You can look at the trends of searches over time and just see what kind of trajectory they're having. Yeah. Elementor's winning.
Ooh.
Well, winning, I don't know, like it's trending at the moment. It's uptrending at the moment. So yeah, it's a really good idea. So you can put in an overall topic and what Google Trends will come up with is related keywords to do with that, to help you come up with blog topics and also like how that's trending. If it's something that's worthwhile picking the uptrend or if it's something that's not really going very well.
Nice.
WordPress Gutenberg is also a trending search term. Obviously, over the last 12 months, that has increased rapidly. So that would have been a nice wave to be in front of as well.
Yeah, absolutely. An article from WP Beginner is 13 best content marketing tools and plugins.
And you did mention SEMrush, and that's definitely in here as one of the top 10, I noticed. Yeah.
Now, the team behind WP Beginner make Monster Insights as well as OptiMonster, which are two of the plugins that are featured on here. But they're great tools as well, and yeah, very useful roundup.
And the two I know that I definitely use in here are Canva and Grammarly. So Canva, well, we use it as a team here. We've got a business account, which we find it's really easy and quick to make everything in our own style, sticking to our style guide. And Grammarly, I can't go without, especially when I'm editing all our blog posts. So Grammarly, basically, you run a check and you can put it in your browser. I'm on Chrome and you've got a browser extension, and it will tell you any spelling mistakes or if you've written a word twice. So if you're writing or editing, it's definitely a great tool to use, just so you don't second guess yourself.
I used to use it, but in ActiveCampaign it messes up the formatting.
Sometimes
I just got rid of it just 'cause of that. Yeah. Do you use the desktop app or like just put it into Chrome?
Yeah, no, I use it. No, just the browser. Yeah. So,
okay, cool. You did say that before. I'm a little bit sick, by the way, so my brain is like trying to catch up to my mouth, or the other way around. So just bear with me.
And Troy's probably jet lagged, so.
Yeah, Troy's probably the right amount of distance to be clear, but you may not be so lucky, Jen. Hopefully. Also, WordPress 4.9.6 came out, which is a privacy and maintenance release. They had some features related to privacy in there to do with having a privacy policy on the sign-up page and the user login page. So if you're actually using a custom login page, this feature doesn't actually translate over to that yet, depending on what plugin you're using. But it's definitely worth reading the release and to the release notes as to what exactly it does. It means that a user can actually log in and they can extract and delete their own data, which helps with GDPR. I definitely don't know enough about it, but the WordPress team, there's been a new group of volunteers that have helped make this happen. So, you know, as always, thanks to the volunteers for helping us solve problems that we don't know how to. So there you go, that's what's
nice.
That's what's going on.
And can I just say, if you like the news that we are bringing to you each week, make sure you go to this link and you sign up to the WP Wednesday, the new WP Wednesday. I don't think I've given it to Max because I'm just dropping this in, but it's thewpwednesday.com. So it's easy to remember, thewpwednesday.com. And every week we do curated all the best from the internet, from specifically WordPress. Usually Simon or Troy's curating it. So all this with a few fun articles thrown in for good measure as well.
I actually tried to sign up to it, even though I am signed up to it with multiple email addresses. I couldn't find it yesterday. I was like, where is it? I put the WordPress Wednesday. I was like, where is that? And I think I pinged everyone on site. I was like, how can I not sign up to this? What's going on? Sort it out. So
well, if you Google the WP Wednesday, you will find the #1 listing in Google search results, Simon, is the WP Wednesday.
Well,
and the sign-up address is actually, the sign-up URL is actually pages.thewpwednesday.com. But if you just Google the WP Wednesday, you'll go to the sign-up page.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, maybe while you're over in Manila, you should get someone for the marketing team to help out, if you can. Just kidding. Yeah. Cool. So, as always, you know, as I'm looking through the news, as I've been living my week, there's been a couple of things that annoyed me that have really grinded my gears. So let's take a look at some things that really piss me off.
This pisses me off.
So what has been pissing you off this week, Simon?
I've been pretty calm this week, to be honest. So I had to really pick at these ones. So there'll just be a few minor things. One, while I was curating in Feedly, the links that I was clicking on were opening in the same window, and it was like, it was really frustrating me. So it took me a lot longer to curate it. So I hope you enjoy this curated WP Wednesday, because it was a pain in the ass. And also the other thing that really pisses me off is not being able to come up with ideas for this segment fast enough. It's not right. It really annoys me.
Ideas for the pisses you off.
Yes,
so you're not an angry enough person.
No.
You need to get angrier.
Very relaxed. And also, it pisses me off being sick. So that's what pisses me off this week.
That's fair enough. Yeah. So I had a debate with, I've had a debate with web designers over the years, web developers over the years, about whether link should open in a new window or a new tab. And I think it depends on the user experience. I know exactly what you're talking about, Simon. In Feedly, when you click on a link, it basically opens like in a pane within the same window, right?
Yeah.
And then from there, you can actually click a link to open it in a separate window. I think Feedly's model is to try and provide a magazine-style experience all within the Feedly interface. So I don't know. I'd be curious to hear what other people think about the whole open link in new tab versus new window versus keep it in the same tab. because my sort of theory is that if it's an internal link within the existing framework of the site or the app that you're using, it should load in the same window. But if it's a link to an external resource or an external site, then it should kick open a new tab.
Yeah,
that's my feeling on it.
Yeah, and that's what we do with our content at WP Elevation, with our blog posts as well. We do it the way you just mentioned, Troy.
Yeah, the Feedly slide-in thing wasn't working, and it could have just been me. But you know, you click an article and it slides in. It was sliding in and then immediately loading the content, and I was like,
that's annoying. Yeah, that would piss me off. Hey, just a quick check-in from Facebook here. Lee Erickson is watching from Ballarat. Hey, Lee. Connor Dean is here from Dublin and has a quick question, which I'll just ask here. Is there any chance you guys could offer a white-labelled service to build and design WordPress sites within the sales and marketing blueprint from WP Elevation? Well, you know, Connor, that's a very big question. There's lots to unpack there. Not likely, not really on the roadmap for WP Elevation. We have been asked in the past to set up basically a back office agency to build sites that our elevators go out and sell, but probably not on the roadmap of things that we're going to do in the next, couple of years, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There you go.
He's honest.
Yeah, yeah, but there are going to be lots of tools and learning and courses and other ways that are definitely adding value to the to be able to offer WordPress to your clients and build a sustainable business. So there's definitely a lot of great stuff in the pipeline.
If I can just dovetail an answer to that, I think the idea is Connor, and really, if you want a resource, you should really have a look at Built to Sell, a great book by John Warrilow. The idea really is to standardize your process so that you're not building complete custom bespoke services, for every client. And the idea is to standardize your development process so that you can build sites efficiently. And really, with the technology, I was talking to Brian yesterday on the plane on the way over here. If the page builders like Beaverbuild and Elementor existed 10 years ago when we started out, man, that's a whole other ballgame. Like, it would have been, it's so much easier and quicker to build WordPress sites now because of things like Beaverbuild and Elementor and all of the add-ons and the extensions that go with those platforms, that there's really is no excuse. You really should be standardizing your process so that you can develop sites efficiently for clients and not reinventing the wheel the whole time you take on a new client project. So anyway, that's my take on it. Connor says, thanks. You've got a great gig going on. It's a pity that you won't do that for us, but yeah, that's just not part of our business model. So there you go. Yeah,
it is something you can absolutely do yourself though as well, Connor. Like you can create your own. Like in one of the early episodes, I shared like a bit of a tease into the blueprint that I've got as part of my business, and it helps us quickly deploy sites, and it's probably could get much faster now with tools like Astra and Elementor. To be able to quickly spin up websites where you don't really have to do much in terms of the coding or setup really. So take a look at that episode. I'm not sure what number it is. It's probably -14 or something around that, but it's to do with WordPress blueprint. So have a look through the archives. There might be something useful for you in there, Connor. All right, so we've got some other questions from our Facebook community. So we're going to take a look and we're going to see if we can help some people get unstuck.
Let's get unstuck.
All right, so this is actually an answer instead of a question. So I posed the question in the group for some help, and that was about adding value to clients and what people in our community were doing, and if they needed help with how they add value to their clients. And Coach Michael Killen, said that the way that he's added value to his clients is coaching, and he said he's added 5, 10, 25K to website projects just by adding a bespoke 13-week coaching program. This requires no setup and can be tailored to each customer. Now, a lot of people have had their minds blown by that, which is awesome, and I thought that was really interesting. So you could provide hands-on coaching for your clients to be able to help them get results where you're doing potentially one-on-one. I'll have to pick Michael's brain a little bit further about this, but potentially one-on-one over a 13-week plan to be able to give even more value than just the website itself, to help them actually use it to generate results.
I like that
thought
because
a
it's
great idea.
specific to what the person needs too, so it's not a generalised offering. It's something that you are working one-on-one with them.
Yeah,
for,
exactly.
so,
Yeah. So you probably map out your 13 weeks or however long it would be, and generally you'd know what to do, but then you'd tailor it so it's specific to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd still have your core offer, but it's a little bit tweaked. I think that is awesome. I'd love to know in the comments from anyone watching at the moment, like what are you doing to add more value to your customers? Is there anything that you do that helps to delight your customers that's beyond just the standard, you know, here's the proposal, here's the delivery, we did exactly what we said. Like, what else are you doing to add value, either before, during, or after a project? I would absolutely love to know, because we are going to let you know as well what we're doing, which brings us to the gold nugget.
Time to dig into the gold nugget.
My belt really squeaks on this chair. It sounds hilarious, just so you know. So yeah, this week's gold nugget, it's all about adding value to your clients. So it's where we've always talked about how can we sell, how can we, how can we get revenue, how can we get the money,
I've lost
right?
you guys. My internet's a little bit funky.
Oh no.
Oh,
Where he's gone? He's turned
lost
into a
Troy
computer.
momentarily.
All right. He might come back. That's all right. We'll roll on. So, while it's important to be getting sales and getting revenue and growing a sustainable business, of course, one of the best ways to do that is to give value, right? You're not going to get value unless you're giving value. So what I wanted to have a chat about today is how you can actually give additional value to your clients.
And you've made a great little, what do you call this, in Notion, a great little fact sheet for us on that.
Did you have a little
I
look
read
over that
through
one?
it, very impressed.
I could have gone on and on about that, but I had to stop.
I like it because what you've done, you're adding value, but it's not adding value in a way that's taking so much of your time that it's not going to be scalable.
Exactly.
So yeah, so tell us how you go about it.
Yeah, well, do you want to have a little look? Any key takeaways for you?
Well,
we'll be sharing this, so we'll just kind of run through the points.
And we can even, if Max has got it, we can even share his screen once we get Troy back.
Cool.
So the first thing is the check-in, which I think is important. So sort of just establishing that way you're going to communicate with them and making sure everything's okay.
Yeah, just seeing how they're going. Just generally just saying, what have we got here? Check in, see how they're going. No need to make a big plan and overthink this. This is something that I always do. It's like, okay, some new system that I want to put together, I'll always think, well, how can I schedule that? What script do I need? There's no need to overthink this. Just check in, they're a human, you're a human, check in and see how they're going. And to help you get past that barrier as well, I've got a very simple email template. Hi, client. I hope you're doing well, business is good. I was doing this thing and read something relevant, and I thought of you. How are things going over at your business? And that's it.
Great.
Just say good day.
Yeah.
See how they're going. Or pick up the phone, say good day, just check in, see how they're doing.
Yeah, beautiful. And then the next one, very important, listening. Making sure you listen to them.
And there's a big gap between you thinking you're listening and someone else knowing you're listening. So I think that's called active listening or something like that. Yeah.
And that's about repeating back what they say in their words as well, picking up on some of their words and the language they use and repeating that back to them to show you've actually heard what they're saying.
Yeah, so you've got to pick up on the words they're using and try to pick up on the language that they use and repeat it back to them. Is that right, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you just did it. So clever.
Well done.
Back.
I'm back.
How are we doing, Troy?
Yeah.
We
Good.
are
Excellent.
on point here?
Yep.
Okay. So, and you've even got a meeting recap email there for that one as well.
So if you have a meeting with the client, it could be just over the phone. You send them a little recap just to let them know some of the key points that you talked about.
Yep.
So I actually like to do our meetings on Zoom, and then I'll take notes during the meeting. If I'm having an initial meeting for a new client, I will then get it transcribed by something like rev.com, or I'm trying out a multitude of tools at the moment.
Yeah, we had a laugh at some of those tools that you're trying out. The translations came back very questionable.
Yes, hilarious. Yeah, it'd be good to get a screenshot of that, but it's a little adult only. But there was something by the co-founder of Groupon called Descript that I'm trialing at the moment, and it's ridiculous, but don't jump straight onto that. You get 30 minutes for free and it's awesome. Use my code. No, don't have a code. It's really good, so give that a shot, but rev.com is really good as well. But Descript is like 7 cents a minute. Anyway, meeting recap. Hi, client. Great to chat to you the other day. Here are a few key points from our discussion for your reference. Key point 1, 2, 3. Let me know if I missed anything or if there are any changes. So listening to your clients, just, you know, having a chat and listening.
And then moving on from listening is understanding their goals.
Yeah, this was absolutely huge for me and my business. Like when I went to the mastermind in Melbourne, I think it was about 18 months or so, maybe 2 years ago, that was the big takeaway for me. It was to be in sync with my clients' goals, and it was a little bit more involved than that after the mastermind, but that was the main takeaway. And now how I went about doing that was ask them what their goals are. I was really nervous about doing that and like, what's the point? Like, how will that make sense? What if I can't deliver what it is that they want? But that's not the point. The point is to be understanding, and the point is to be really listening to them. And then how you solve that and how you go about finding someone else or partnering with someone or how you go about solving that, it doesn't really matter. What is important is that you are partnering with your client, right? And a partner is someone that knows your goals and actively works towards them with you, is what I just made up, but I think that's about right.
Wow, that sounds good.
Yeah. So I've got a bit of a process for doing that. So you ask them what they want to achieve from their website in the next 12 months, make notes, go wide, go deep. If you don't know what that is, Google Go Wide, Go Deep, WP Elevation. You'll find an episode and some resources about that. And then ask them about how their current online presence is. So you want to look at the ideal future state and then the current state. And then you want to see what the gap is in between, and you just ask them what their roadblocks are in getting to that point. And just by listening to that, you don't have to solve anything at that point. Just by listening, repeating that back to them, and even just sending them a recap, if you did that, that would just put you so far ahead of so many other freelancers out there who are just designing, who are just developing, right? It would help you become a partner and transition into a consultant.
And you said listening, and it's not giving that advice at that stage. So sometimes they don't even know what their goals are. So that listening would be with the go wide, go deep technique as well. Just question them if they're not sure, just going that bit deeper, bit deeper until they actually work it out themselves and go, oh yes. And then that'll love you for helping them work things out as well.
That's right, yeah. There's this feeling transformation that they have, that their own goals are clearer, and you've helped that happen. So in some ways that in itself is a deliverable, right? It's just hard to grab it and put it somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like sharing useful content too, and I know, Troy, you teach this as a great little thing in the blueprint as well, is showing the client that they're top of mind, you're always thinking about them. So if you come across an article that you're reading, that you've read, and you think, oh, that'd be good for the client, just send that through and say, hey, saw this article, thought it might be useful. Yeah. So it's also thinking, like, it works both ways. Like, they're thinking, oh, okay, they're thinking of me, that's a positive there, but it's also, you know, showing how proactive you are and on top of it all as well. So that's a great little tip.
On the pulse.
Yeah,
exactly. And you can also do something like WordPress Wednesday, right? Where you can curate a set of articles and send them out periodically. And the tool that you use, what's that one?
Curated. Curated.co.
You could use MailChimp for that as well. You could use ActiveCampaign, whatever, but Curate is specifically for something like that.
Yeah, makes it nice and easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Super, super simple.
Provide great support. That's sort of a no-brainer, isn't it?
It's pretty important.
Because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're doing that, you're one step ahead of a lot of people.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why it's hard to provide great support, is because people don't know how to charge for this. Like, how do you charge for, like, a client asking questions? Like, how can you make sure that you're maintaining your profitability, sanity, and time, and you're answering the questions that are required? So it is a bit of a challenge to make that happen.
That's a great question, Simon. And in fact, if you went to Google and typed in WP Elevation care plans, you might come up with some answers for that very question there.
There you go.
Care plan,
might have even talked
care
about
plan
that.
for the win, care plan for the win.
Yeah, exactly. And you can partner with other services like GoWP or WP Buffs as well, and there are others, and they can take care of your support on, like, white label. If it's something that you're struggling to build your own processes or you're not comfortable doing just yet, there's no need to. You can sell those services, keep your clients and keep them happy, maintain profit, and focus on what you're really good at. So,
yeah.
Perfect. And then that sort of moves on to the next one with offering additional services.
Yep, exactly.
So as well as those care plans, what other additional services are you talking about in that one?
Yeah, there's so many things that you could offer. Like a website is only part of the online presence that a client needs. It's about understanding your niche, understanding your target customer, what their problems are, and then what you can do to add value and solve those problems. So that it opens up a really wide variety of things, but they can range from things like search engine optimization, to managing their Facebook ads, to retargeting for e-commerce, to email marketing. The caveat here is offering too many things and spreading yourself way too thin. My recommendation would be to partner with someone else who's quite good at these things. You can share leads together as well, give value to your clients, and you can still focus on what you're really good at instead of trying to do everything at once.
And you don't want to bombard them with too many options too. Like you'll be able to identify what they're probably struggling with and need most help with and point them in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you think, Troy, about some additional services like WordPress consultants can offer?
I think any kind of coaching or strategy advice is probably the most valuable thing you can provide. One of the most common feelings amongst website owners is that, and I know this as a website owner myself, is that I'm sure we can be doing better, I'm sure we can be doing more, I'm sure we can be improving our conversion rates for email subscribers or sales, I'm sure we can be getting more comments and more traction on our blog posts and more people sharing. There's always improvements that website owners want to make on their website. The problem is they don't know which improvement is actually going to be the most valuable for their business, and they don't know how to execute the tactical things required to make those improvements. So for example, you know, having conversations in the comments section on a blog post is a great way to build relationships with potential new customers and keep existing customers happy. It's also an opportunity to do some customer support, having intercom chat bubbles on websites for customer support. There are so many opportunities where you, as an experienced web person who understands the internet and the way the technology works, and you understand their business, there are so many opportunities for you to say, hey, I think this is going to really help you move that needle or solve that problem or reduce that admin cost or, you know, improve the customer experience here. They don't know what they don't know, and they're actually looking to you for some kind of guidance and advice. And in my experience, if you don't give them the advice and the guidance that they need, they'll get it somewhere else. They'll go and join someone else's coaching program, and all of a sudden, 3 months later, you find out that someone else is working on their website and they haven't even mentioned this to you because you weren't proactive in nurturing that relationship, that conversation with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think an issue here as well is that many WordPress freelancers and consultants don't know how to do that. They don't know how to say what is going to help with a client's website and their business. And you mentioned a few good points there. It's like saving on support costs. So it's really knowing what your client's goals are and really listening to those, and then using your knowledge of the web and building websites to be able to implement something that is going to achieve one of those goals. So we're adding a chat bubble to the website is just that in itself. It's not just that, because it achieves the goals of reducing support costs and potentially growing leads, because you can have more valuable conversations. So it's not so much about what you do, it's more about the value that it brings, and just making sure you're focusing on those things that are actually valuable to your customers, and practicing your language around not just talking about the plugins, but talking about the business benefits of implementing something.
Yep, 100%.
Sell the benefits, not the features.
That's right, exactly, exactly.
Learned that from you, Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a little freebie I wanted to throw in here as well, is to be able to help them plan their marketing. And something that I've been doing actually here at WP Elevation is putting together a bit of a calendar to be able to help plan our own marketing and Silence is Golden episodes. So I created a super basic marketing calendar template in Google Sheets, and I've actually been sharing this with my clients, and it's been helping them to get ahead of themselves with their marketing and get things out of their head. So most businesses that I work with, and this may be a bad reflection on me, but who cares, let's say it anyway, is that they don't know what's next. They don't know what's coming up in their own business. They're like, I think we should market this thing. I think we should focus on this product. and then social's doing this, and Facebook ads are doing this, and they've got their partners doing these things, and no one's on the same page. They have no piece of paper or anything that communicates what's next and how we're going to, what are we going to focus on? There's no focus at all. So a super simple marketing calendar, and if my screen sharing is up, I'll briefly go over this. There's not really anything very exciting there. I can see it. I can see green. So, yeah, maybe that's a little bit small there, but that's all right. So we've got the dates across the top. We've got what's the theme for the month. What are some ideas about what you could talk about? Now, if you just went through the top 2 sections with a client, what's the theme? What are we going to focus on? And then what are some ideas for content we could produce? If you just did that and then showed the client the example that I've put in there as well about digital marketing planning as the focus for the month. If you just did that, I'm pretty confident that anyone who develops websites and builds websites for their clients could just go through that in a call with a client. That would really add a lot of value to a client, and you can just have that as like a monthly meeting with them to just check in on this and see what they're working on next and just guide them through building out this marketing calendar.
And again, once you've got this set up, it's not a lot of work for you.
Call.
Oh, there you go. It's not a lot of work for you to do all the time once you've got this set up. So again, it's scalable as well.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things that's really adding some great value.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to manage this. The client can absolutely manage this, right? Like you just give it to them and you go, here you go, client. Here's a little surprise. It's a marketing calendar. It's really easy to use because you probably don't have one.
Love it.
Yeah, there's lots of other things. So yeah, I'd absolutely love checking with Facebook to see if there's anyone who's got any
I can chime in here. Connor Dean says, the biggest issue facing us this week, Connor's in Ireland, is GDPR, of course. Any thoughts? It basically means we have to stop emailing our database of over 1,000 people. Not exactly correct, Connor. Major pain point unless they come back to us. Your thoughts on this topic would be great. My thoughts on this topic are very clear. We are not lawyers, so we hired our lawyer to help us get our head around it. It doesn't mean you have to stop emailing your database. What it basically means is that it's very complicated. What it means, no one really knows what GDPR means right now because the legislation isn't passed. It comes into effect on the 25th of May, which is a few days' time. Over the next 12 months, we're going to learn what GDPR actually means as some of these test cases come before the courts and some of these decisions are made on how the legislation is actually going to be executed and implemented. So it's too early to tell, but what we've done here is we are in the process and we have something like 85,000 people in our Infusionsoft database, right? So the idea of it's a very scary idea to lose that database. However, what I can tell you, and this is true amongst most email databases, is that open rates and click rates are getting lower and lower and lower. So what we are doing here is we are basically going to put a message in front of our email subscribers and get them to click a button or click a link that says, yes, that I still want to receive emails from WP Elevation. And those people will still continue to get our weekly newsletters, the WordPress Wednesday updates from the blog and the podcast. If someone doesn't click that button and doesn't click that link and we give them 30 days to answer that question and they don't engage by saying, yes, I want to keep getting emails, then we will stop emailing them. Now, I know everyone's freaking out going, oh, but I've got, 1,000 people in my email database and I have to stop emailing them. No. You only stop emailing the people who are not opening and clicking on your emails anyway, right? So you're not actually losing anything. In fact, what this is going to do is it's going to mean our open rates and our click-through rates go up. Our email list is going to shrink, which is a good thing because it costs us a lot of money to host 85,000 email addresses in Infusionsoft when only 15 or 16% open and 3% click. I mean, what is the point of having the rest of that dead wood in our database? So we are actively going to shrink our Infusionsoft database, but our open rates and click-through rates and engagement will actually go up. So we'll have a higher quality list, and it's not about quantity. And I can tell you now, I've had to work through some mental stuff because having a huge list in Infusionsoft is good for my ego, but the commercial reality is it doesn't really mean anything for the business if no one's opening and clicking. So, Connor, it's very complicated. If your clients are asking you about GDPR, my response is, I'm not a lawyer, dude. You need to speak to a lawyer. And if you are collecting data off your website, your client needs to engage a lawyer to make sure they're covered. It's not your job as a web developer to make sure they are compliant with the law. That is a lawyer's job. So send your clients to their lawyer, and then you just execute what the lawyer suggests. And in our place, it's about getting double opt-in confirmations. It's about putting check boxes on order forms and opt-in forms to say, yes, I want to be added to the subscriber list for future updates. And it's about making sure that unsubscribe links are very clear and very visible, and also that clients, email subscribers have the right to be forgotten. In other words, someone can email me and say, hey, can you please forget me from your database, which means I need to remove them from Infusionsoft, from Intercom.
What I think Troy is saying there is that users have the right to be forgotten. You just cut out for a sec there, Troy. From users have the right to be forgotten.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Users have the right to be forgotten. So, under the GDPR law now, anyone has the right to email a company and says, "Can you please remove me from your database?" And they have to remove you from any database they have. So for us, it's Infusionsoft, Intercom, our WordPress database. If we're tracking them in a Facebook custom audience, we need to remove them from all of our databases and basically forget that they exist until such time that they choose to re-opt in at any point. So my advice, talk to your lawyer, tell your clients to talk to their lawyer, and, you know, just chill out, because it's going to take a year at least for us to actually figure out what this really means.
Yeah, exactly. And what you mentioned there about the other companies that you have databases with that are third parties, that you're not actually in control of their data, they need to be GDPR compliant as well to be able to make sure you're GDPR compliant. Siftery released a tool, I can't remember what it's called, track.siftery.com, I think, and it lists many of the SaaS companies out there and what their GDPR status is at the moment. So I think it's track.siftery.com. And have a quick look at that. And
if you're using, say, Hotjar, for example, to track engagement or behavior on your website, you're not actually collecting data, but Hotjar are collecting data, then you need to sign a document. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's a
DPA?
DPA, yeah, Digital Protection Authority document. You need to sign a document. Basically, we've done this with Infusionsoft and with Hotjar. I mean, you basically go through your Google Tag Manager container and have a look at all the scripts that are in Google Tag Manager or any tracking scripts on your website. Make sure that you've signed a DPA document with those third-party tools, and that way you're covering yourself and you know, making sure that you've got the right authority with those companies.
That's super useful, actually. Like I was definitely not across it at all, and I've been pretty worried about it. So yeah, cheers heaps, Troy. That's at least someone spending money on lawyers here. Yeah, there's a great Facebook group actually run by Suzanne. Oh, I can't remember her name. Someone's going to tell me. She is she's a lawyer, I think, and she's kind of become the Suzanne Dibble, here we go, Suzanne Dibble, it's spelt exactly as it's pronounced. She's got a Facebook group all about GDPR and what it means for small business and marketing. It's called GDPR for Online Entrepreneurs. So the GDPR for Online Entrepreneurs, she's got a great Facebook group. Go and join her Facebook group and ask any questions. She puts a bunch of content in there, and that's where basically, and she's got a kit that she gives away as well that helps you be, you know, get your head around GDPR. So go and check her out. Awesome, cool. All right, at least someone rose to the top to tackle this challenge. I've been trying to find a lot of information about it, but yeah, it seems like lawyers are the way to go with this one. Cool, all right, well, you know, that does bring us to the old tool of the week, but it doesn't relate anything to GDPR, but let's have a look at it anyway.
Get ready for Tool of the Week.
It's the marketing calendar that I shared earlier. So download the marketing calendar, copy that, change it for your clients, and have a go at this process. So if this is something that you do charge for, go for it. If it's something you don't and you just add value and you just ask your clients if this would be useful, then go for it. I've used this and a variation of this tool to be able to transition my clients from website builds into ongoing marketing plans. Just to be able to lead with some value is always what I find helps in a good sales process. So there you go, download that, use it, tweak it, make it your own, and let us know what you think, and of course what you'd like to learn next and you'd like for us to cover on Silence in Scotland.
Great, thank you for sharing with us.
That's
a great tool.
I'll have to dive deeper in, because we're going to have a chat about it too.
Yeah.
Into the marketing for this. Thanks for joining us, Troy.
Our pleasure. And just a quick announcement. Remember, Simon and I are coming out to San Diego at the end of June. Tickets are selling like hotcakes to the 2 live events that we're running Thursday, June 28 and Friday, June 29. Thursday, June 28 is WP Elevation Live, where it's an implementation workshop where we're helping you install the blueprint in your business and optimize it and customize it and tweak it so that it's awesome. And Friday, June 29 is our recurring revenue masterclass where we're talking about setting up, teaching you how to set up recurring revenue in your business. And it's more than just care plans. So ping us, leave a comment under this video if you want more details on that. Just leave the comment San Diego. San Diego in the comment, and we'll reach out to you and get you the details for that. Very, very limited tickets available, so first in, best dressed. So just wanted to touch on that. Very excited to be coming out to San Diego at the end of June with Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
That's going to be so much fun.
Thanks for having me, gang. I'm going to go and meet our team now and say hi to them.
Yeah, say
cool,
hi from
perfect.
us.
Yep, say good day.
And remember, if you like the information that we've given you via the articles, please be sure to sign up to thewpwednesday.com and you'll subscribe to that and get that every week. So good fun too. And if you like what you hear today and are enjoying what you see, make sure you subscribe to us on Facebook, ring that bell on YouTube, and subscribe on Facebook.
Until next time, I'm Simon Kelly, and remember, silence is golden.
Troy?
Knowledge is power.
And silence is golden.